All right, Jaden's the boss. She says, let's do it. So let's do it. I think this is the first time we've ever had 3 guests on the same show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we usually have, it's either me and Try or me and Savvy, and then 2 guests, or the very rare Try and Sav special, and then 2 guests. I think this is the first trifecta we've ever had.
Yeah.
No, we're glad it's us.
Yeah. We're
And so
excited.
if you don't recognize the ladies, if you're on YouTube or hear their voices, we got Lexy Denaburg in the green, Devon Newberry there in the black, and Jaden Whitmarsh. What was that, like a cream?
I would say it's a cream. Yeah, a cream or a little tan, whatever you want to say.
Tan, got it. But
Yeah.
UCLA's big 3. Thanks for all 3 of you coming on and making the trip.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you back. And are you guys, did practice start yet for college? Okay. How's the preseason coming?
Good. We had our first practice back Monday, so this was our first full week of training, and I think it was great. Energy was high, and we were all really excited to be back with our team and just counting down the days till season starts.
Yeah, and it's been a wild off season at UCLA with Steino going to Texas, and now Jenny, who, I mean, she's been with the program forever. I don't remember UCLA without a Jenny, and then you got Jose coming back, and then Kelly Reeves back in. How's the transition been?
Honestly, Jenny's been doing a great job. Like, she is just amazing, and they all just make the perfect triangle. Like, they all just balance each other out perfectly. Like, the energy that Jose and Kelly bring and is just so refreshing. But yeah, it's been such a fun, like, preseason, and even now getting into season, it's just been, Jenny's been doing a great job. She's seriously amazing. So
Yeah, and I know obviously like Jenny and Stein worked together a lot, but how they would run a practice will probably differ a little bit, and it's a small sample size. But what are the differences between how a practice looks with Jenny and Jose and Kelly versus Stein and then Jenny? And I mean, you guys have had a bunch of different third assistants.
Yeah, I think that the nice thing about having Jose and Kelly is they bring such like a different like style to the game. So you have Kelly who comes up with like the craziest warm-up drills and like the most like, and we practiced with Kelly a couple times over summer, and so like we had seen that, and like to bring that into the game has just been really like fun, and it's a new mental piece. And then Jose is like the blocking coach out there, so for like us blockers it's been like huge, because like I remember 2 years ago when we had Jose, and like our blocking that year was like better than it's ever been, and then he went away, and it like kind of it didn't dip, but it stayed the same. And now we have him back, and it's like seeing the blocking drills that he's producing is just something that like our program hasn't seen in a while.
Yeah. What makes him such an exceptional blocking coach?
I think it's just like he knows it, and like he was a blocker as well, so he knows exactly how it works. And he also talks about the pros all the time, and like the work he does over the summer with like the pros and like all these different styles of play. And he's coming from a country that like completely different style, so like he's able to incorporate like big takeaways that you wouldn't notice otherwise, like these small little details, whether it's your footwork, whether it's your hands to the net or not. Like those are things that like I haven't ever heard in my life, and a lot of the coaching staff like that I've worked with before, or people that I hear from, it's like just get your hands over the net and stuff like that. So it's been like refreshing hearing from a completely different perspective on how to work through it.
I think too, he just like, he has a way of like making you get it, like no matter who he's talking to. It's like you have these like aha moments, and you're like, oh my gosh. And he makes you think that like you are doing it, but then he just has a way of like making you understand it and like putting it in a way of words that you just like get it, and then you can put it into like your training right away when you're doing blocking drills.
And his energy is second to none.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was going to say, like, during practice, he shows up every day, like, ready to go. Like, energy, like, he brings it every single day, which is just so refreshing as players, especially when you're not feeling it that day. Jose and Kelly do a really good job at showing up and bringing their best, which makes us want to be our best too. So
Yeah. And what a balance. I mean, the difference in energy and sort of emotional strengths that Jenny, Jose, and Kelly bring to the table? Because Kelly's going to bring this like super rad Gucci vibe to the squad, and then you got Jose who's like, just go F and get the ball. And then I don't have a ton of experience with Jenny, but she seems a little bit more just like cool and neutral and calm and collected. Like, what a balance you guys have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have you three as the playing leaders of the team. Like, what an incredible lineup of seniors. When I saw the roster, I was like, no way. Like especially because you made an AVP final or semifinal this year. Final, semifinal? Semi in Hermosa. And you guys made a good run in Hermosa all the way to 7th. And you guys were on court 5. It's like, you sandbaggers.
That was not our choice, Travis.
But how cool is it? Because, Dev, I mean, I remember when we went to La Paz, and that doesn't seem like that long ago, and you were still in high school, and now you're like a veteran leader of the team.
I know. It's really weird. Like, I talk about it all the time, but like the difference between last year and this year is wild. Like, I feel so much older, and like last year I didn't feel ready to leave at all. Like, I felt like I still had so much work to do, and like I still have so much work to do, but like it's now like a happy and sad thing. Like, as I'm experiencing like my first lasts of things, or my last first of things, like it's not so much of a sadness. I'm just like happy to be there, but I'm also like ready to move on next year.
So time to get after it one more year.
Yeah.
And how about you guys? I mean, you've both found, I feel like, Dev, you guys came in together, right?
Yeah.
With Riley?
Yeah.
You guys were like kind of the big three, and that doesn't seem like that long ago.
I know.
And how's it feel for both of you guys to be sort of finishing up your last campaigns as Bruins?
Well, this year I'm a 6th year, so I am definitely feeling old. Devon said she's feeling old. Just so you know how I feel. No, I am just grateful that I had the opportunity to come back and use my last year of eligibility, especially going out with like them 3. Yeah, they're like my closest friends, and so it feels like really good to be able to spend our last year together and just make the most out of it. So
yeah. And like, what kind of role do you play? Because obviously the coaching staff, they have the role, but I think in college sports especially, the veteran player leaders is probably the most underrated skill. And I don't know if you guys have read The Captain Class by Sam Walker, have had your coaches recommend it, but it's basically they looked into the most successful dynasties of all time. And what they found was that the common denominator wasn't a star player or a great coach. It was actually a captain on the team who provided the leadership to the players. And I think that you three are in such a valuable position, because is in college, especially when a freshman's coming in, it's a whole new world in college. Is that a responsibility that you guys like look forward to taking?
Yeah, I mean, I love doing, I feel like we talk about that a lot too. Like, there's so many people, like every person on our team is a leader, but just in a different way, and everyone brings something different to the table. But it is just crazy to think about how far we've come, because we were once in that position, just as freshmen, and now it's like, obviously we're the oldest ones on the team, and you know, we're trying to lead them in the best way possible. But I think also too, like, we're trying to put the team into positions where we have the younger kids like step up, so that we're not just the ones saying things all the time, and we're not the ones like doing things, because we want to leave it, like when we're gone, we want to leave them in the best possible situation to know how to handle things themselves. So I kind of feel like we're 5th and 6th years, like we're not technically like supposed to be here anymore. And obviously like that makes us older than normal seniors would be, but I kind of feel us in a role of like trying to just prepare them to be better leaders for the team as they get new freshmen coming in too.
When does the season actually start? It's like late February?
Yeah.
Okay.
February.
It's such a sprint. What do the next couple weeks look like? Because you only have, about a 4-week preseason? How do you guys, like, you don't want to peak, and like no one's won an NCAA championship in February. So what does it look like, that sort of ramp up process?
Want to take it?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of like we get back in January and like nothing's decided. No pairs are decided, no placements decided. And so you're still like, at least like this week and probably the next maybe week or two, we'll kind of like ramp up our skills even more. And that's kind of what we like did the entire preseason and fall. And then it kind of gets into partner work. And it's like, you really got to get used to your partner and like who you're being put with. And then throughout the season, like you said, like it's such a sprint and you don't want to be peaking too early, but you also just like want to keep getting in that rhythm with your partner. So I feel like the more in season you are, it's more about like how you and your partner are connecting and then playing against each other. Like we push each other more than anybody else is going to across the court. So like that's our biggest focus in practice over the next like 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
I saw a great video with Nick Saban, and he was recruiting a high school kid, and he was talking about how am I going to get playing time when I'm behind all these All-Americans? And he was like, where else are you going to get that type of preparation if like Marlon Humphrey was a safety who had to cover Amari Cooper every day? And then we had the best defensive tackle in the nation and the best offensive lineman, and they were sharpening each other. And I feel like having a roster as deep as UCLA's is so useful because you guys, you played against each other in AVPs, twice last year?
Yeah. Honestly, we've almost
we did it 4 times, I think. Yeah, we did it 4 times.
It's just this great iron sharpens iron culture. And it's important because there's a balance where you want to be competitive, but also build each other up. How do you guys help find that, especially because you guys are obviously great friends and teammates, but you're competing against each other as professionals with paychecks on the line?
Yeah.
You
know? I think it's different when you look at, college versus AVP or professional level. But I'll say on our team, on our college team, I feel like we push each other as hard as we can on the court, like every single day in practice. And then after, like off the court, we become best friends again. And that's just goes back to our culture and our relationships we build. And then professionally, it's always like, it's tough to see our teammate across the net.
Yeah.
But again, it's always just like, we'll go 100% on court, but off the court, we'll be best friends after, like no matter what, win or loss, like we'll always be best friends. So.
Yeah. I feel like that's sort of exceptional to the beach culture that you can do that. And maybe a little bit of like AAU basketball. I think you can kind of do it in high school. But that's about it because it's so hard to compete and then you're off the sand and 10 minutes later you go get an acai bowl or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're all trying to go get that national championship.
Exactly.
I think too, like our relationships are like bigger than what happens after the game or like during the game. And I feel like just having that, it just makes us so that we know like whatever's happening is like coming from a good place, like in the heart. And like after that, we know we can be like best friends. It doesn't like, that's not gonna, what happens in the game isn't gonna be thought about like a couple days that, it's like it's after, like it's done when the game's done. And then we can just go back to getting acai bowls and driving home together.
Yeah.
Like,
what, do you think it's beneficial to play AVPs? Like, what's it like to go from college and then to AVP and then back to college? Because I don't see obviously there is a talent gap, but it's getting closer and closer. You see the success like Kristen and Taryn had immediately going from LSU to the AVP, and Tina obviously speaks for herself. But is it, do you guys value that summertime playing professionally?
I do. I think that it's such a different style of play. And in college, we sit down after every like college tournament and every AVP and we kind of go over everything for like hours. And like in college, you're playing the same people over and over and over again. So like you have to develop like different strengths and different skills, and you have to watch your video. You have to pick up on tendencies. And then you get into the pro leagues and it's a completely different ballgame. Like it's not as heavy on video and there's not going to be as much. And sometimes you're finding out that same day who you're playing in the next hour. And so it's more like adapting pretty quickly to a game plan and like focusing on your side more. So I feel like at least for us, like it's really rounded out like our play. But like sometimes I'll think to myself in fall, like after spending a couple weeks in college and be like, man, like I could do so much better on the AVP now, like now playing with these girls. So I think that there's definitely like a gap closing. I think it's just a different kind of play.
Yeah. What's different stylistically? Because I think it's easy to see the stylistic differences between AVP and overseas, where it's just a lot more physical. And I think some of that has to do with the ball. Just Mikasa, you can pop a lot better, and you can't shoot as easy. You got to hit a high line, you miss it a little. It's like 10 feet long. But what stylistically is the difference between NCAA and AVP?
For me, playing this last summer in AVP, the biggest difference was serving.
Okay.
I felt like service pressure was a lot tougher and a lot more aggressive than college. I don't know what else.
Would that be something? Sorry, Lexi.
No,
would that be something that you're going to try to, like, having seen it and how much of an impact it has? Are you trying to bring that then back to UCLA and like, well, this was deadly on the AVP. Let's try to add that to the arsenal.
No, exactly. I mean, we UCLA, like, we always talk about like tough serving, and then that only makes us, better passers. It's just the mindset going into it now. And, like, for me, I want to have the mindset like I want to serve this ball and like, earn the point rather than like, ooh, like I don't want to like miss, which obviously affects your serving. But bringing that kind of mentality into the game makes such a difference and puts so much more pressure on your opponent. So I would say that's the biggest difference.
Betsy Flint School of Serving.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you going to say there, Lex?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, obviously, like, I feel like serving too, and like the speed of serving and like the like specific of like where you're serving. But I also feel like you're kind of like choosing more of like what you want to take away instead of like, oh, let's serve her here because she's going to miss her cut shot. Like, I feel like in playing AVPs, like everyone's really good at pretty much everything, and it's you're picking like what strategy you want to pick or what strategy you want to defend against a certain skill that they have that you might think works better against your defense or something like that.
Yeah.
Just a matchup oriented thing. And you went overseas, won a gold medal out of the qualifier with Korea. You're so humble.
Just crawling in our seat.
No, it was so fun. Carly Kahn is amazing. Obviously, you know Carly, right?
I love Carly.
She's just the most wholesome, sweetest, nicest, most humble, but also like fiercest competitor I've played with. So yeah, she's amazing.
And forever the most underrated player.
For real.
Just because she's so sneaky doing her secret training in Hawaii. And she pops out and wins everything.
She's just amazing. Like, no, she is awesome. And she's a great person. I had so much fun, like, hanging out with, honestly, like, aside from volleyball, I had so much fun hanging out with her and, like, getting closer to her. How did that partnership come about? I think she got my number from Leah Monkhouse. Because Leah used to be on our team. And then she texted me one day. And then it honestly worked out really well because I was kind of going through some like partner like changes too, so like right after that I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't have a partner, like it's summer, and like I also like normally I just want to focus on college season because that is just like all I want to do. And last year I did that, and then I like AVP comes around and like obviously everyone has their partners, and I was like, oh shoot, like, I forgot about that partner. But yeah, so then she texted me one day, and then we just started training, and then we started training with Dan, and then just kind of took it from there.
How was it winning, like being on the podium? Because the Futures, they're the lowest level, but you can get some sneaky good teams.
Yeah.
Like I remember 2018. Anders and Christian played Perisic and Schweiner in a Futures like 9th place match.
Yeah.
Or then a 1-star. I was like, good heavens. That's a loaded 1-star.
No, it was fun because especially going into it too, we didn't know. Because obviously like that was my first like international tournament, so I didn't know what to expect for like the qualifier. And Carly was like, we should be fine, but just in case, like, obviously we're going to take it seriously, but there's always that factor of like, oh, you flew all the way to Korea, like you don't want to lose the first qualifier game and not be in the tournament and then fly home. But yeah, it was really a good experience and super fun.
And there are sneaky teams everywhere. Like you'll see a Slovenian team with 0 points, and you're like, all right, we should be fine, Slovenia. And then they come out and they're like jump setting, like shooting balls everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I think playing World Tour is such a valuable experience because you learn how to deal with whatever. Like you'll wake up, you're jet lagged, it's like a 14-hour time difference. The food's funny. Like your plane got delayed. Nothing's perfect. Did Stein or Jenny ever try to like simulate something like that in practice?
Oh gosh, I feel like not even like in practice, but like when we'd be on planes, sometimes Stein would just be walking through the aisles and be like, "Wake up!" Or
I'm a big sleeper. I sleep like the entire plane ride and the bus ride.
Plane ride and go to sleep at night and be fine. And she wakes up and she's on the time change and she's fine.
But Stein did not like that, so he'll like walk up and down the aisles and be like, "Hey, it's time to wake up." And then we'll get there and wherever we are, we'll usually get there and we'll have to go do some sort of workout just so that like we like
flush out the legs.
But
or even like I remember there were some years in Gulf Shores where we were there a few days before, but he still wanted us to wake up at like 6 a.m. or something just to make sure we could get on the time faster. Which I think that's like stuff if we're getting enough sleep, I think we should be doing that. But yeah, they definitely tried to incorporate that.
I didn't know if he would ever like schedule practice to start at say 3. And then you guys would just be like rolling in like 2:58 and be like, "Hey, first serve's in 2 minutes," and like try to stress you guys out in 10
We
straight.
did that too with game days. We would do game days and then we have a little timer out. And so sometimes he would be like, "It's 4 minutes on the clock." And we would all have to share the same court and be like, "This is how it's going to go. Like you're going to have 10 people on the same court and you're going to have to try and find a ball."
Serves flying everywhere.
It's never happened in college volleyball. Have I had a warm-up court with 10 people on it? But it's good life skills.
But we were prepared.
We were prepared.
I think even it's like Navy SEAL boot camp training sometimes. Even though that'll never happen, it's good that you know how to deal with a good baseline level of stress. What do you guys have? Is there like a mantra, a motto? Obviously, a goal every year is to win NCAA Championship. But is there anything that you've taken from last year to try to fix up going into this year? Obviously, last year was exceptional, but you're 1 win shy. I don't have to remind you. But that's why you're all back, I think.
I mean, I feel like we're not really taking anything. Obviously, it's like that team from last year is going to remember what happened. But I mean, Jenny and our team talks about all the time, like our team's a new team and like our team hasn't done anything yet. And last year was last year and that was a completely different team. We had people graduate, people left. So yeah, I mean, we just talk about it a lot, how this team, we have to prove it to ourselves, like what type of team we're going to be. Like we haven't won anything yet. We haven't won even one game. So yeah.
Are you guys the type to use a loss like that as fuel? Because I'm more like when I lose, I just kind of want to throw it away. I just want to remember something good I did and build off that. I'm more of like motivated by progress. But some people, like they'll just hold, and most of the greats will just like hold on to a loss and like they'll just leave that chip on their shoulder forever. I don't know if you guys will just like keep that right there for fuel.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty individual about how people handle something like that. Like Lexi said, this is a brand new team. So, for example, our 4 freshmen don't even know what that feeling was. They don't even know what it feels like to be competing in Gulf Shores. So, yeah, we try to leave what happened in the past. And, of course, everyone's going to handle it differently. But this is a new year. And we always say each year is like a new journey. So yeah, it's a brand new year and I think we're just looking forward to what's ahead and staying in the present. So
what were some of the bigger takeaways from last year?
I feel like I've said this a lot, but I feel like we put ourselves in the best possible. I truly think looking back, like we did everything to win. Like I think we put ourselves in the best position and we did everything when it comes to like mindset and like working hard and all our conditioning tests and stuff. Like we put ourselves in the best position to win and it just didn't happen that day. Yeah, I think that's one takeaway.
The process was right.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a lot of peace to be had in that when you can look back and know like, hey, we did everything. And a match, you guys play one match and it could be 45 minutes, especially in Gulf Shores where it could be 30-mile-an-hour gusts at any given moment where it's a flip of the coin, especially with a team as talented as a USC. If you play that match 100 times, you guys probably win 70 at least, I think. but sometimes you just
Yeah.
you just end up on the wrong end.
Yeah.
I think that last year, because it was such a wonky season for me personally, it like being in for those last couple weeks and like being back with Jaden and like being able to put like a point on my team's board, like really reminded me like how great the sport is and like how fun it is to sit there in college volleyball and like finish your game to just go sprint and cheer on your teammates, and you don't get that over summer for the AVP. Me and Jaden can finish a game and win, and we don't have anyone else on the court cheering us on. Like I'm looking around, I'm like, there's no one here.
Just our moms.
Yeah. But it really was like so amazing. And like because I was out, like I got to develop my relationship so much with the girls who like weren't traveling or weren't playing. And like I felt like I got to see like both sides of it. And like it just made me so grateful for everything. So I feel like that's my takeaway from last year, is that like I'm just so happy to be here and like healthy and like experience this one more time before like we can't do it again together.
Yeah. How's your shoulder?
It's great. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because you were undefeated last year. 13-0. That's pretty good. Coming
Yeah.
off of one shoulder.
Yeah.
But you're all healthy, rested up?
I am. I feel like, because in that USC match, I like tore my shoulder again, and it weirdly like put everything back into place. I feel like I still have to be pretty mindful with it, but ever since that match, like I've felt like my looseness back, like I've been able to feel normal
You just
hitting
need to
again.
hurt yourself one more time.
Yeah, just I needed one more little tear, and that was good.
Have you guys ever seen Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, of course I have.
And when Cousin Eddie's talking about his daughter, he's like, kick by mule, eyes go across, falls down the well, eyes go back again. I don't know. Like, tears her shoulder, pretty
That's
hurt,
me.
tears it again, she's fine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm always full of those things.
Did you guys all give yourself appropriate amount of time though? Because when you go from college straight into AVP and then straight into fall college season, that's a lot on the body, even though it's beach and not indoor. You guys all rested up?
I would say so. I think we're all pretty fired up, especially for it, again, being our last season. I think we show up every single day ready to work, and we know what it takes. So I think we're all pretty ready, for sure. Yeah.
Love it. Did you play the fall tournament? And did they do it in Huntsville again? The Paris one?
We were all there.
I was somewhere. I don't know. I wasn't in town, so I couldn't follow it. How is that tournament?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It
I thought it was a really cool. It was our first time going this year, like us two, but it was a really cool experience. It was freezing and the weather was pretty crazy there, but it was I didn't like being like that separated from my team, and it's kind of weird how it's like you send individual pairs there and then like you're separated from the rest, but it was so fun to get. We always say it was a girls trip because it was like us three, Maggie and Jenny, or
That's
it was
funny.
Terry. And so it was just like such a fun little girls trip for us all to have. A little
That's
We
so
just
vacation.
go to dinner every night.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
talk about
Chat.
anything.
We would just be like, girls trip. Like, so much.
Like even anything bad that happened, we were like, girls
Yeah,
trip.
whatever.
Was it back in Huntsville again?
Yeah.
Okay. Who knew that Alabama would be the host of all the big beach
know.
tournaments
It's so
every year?
funny.
I know.
Yeah, each tournament is just like so much fun, and the atmosphere is so amazing. And I thought the tournament was really well done, and
Really high level.
yes, like great teams there. And it really got us like thinking like where we need to be, or like we got to compare at that point. And I think it was a teaser of season, so it was really exciting.
And is this the last year of Gulf Shores?
It
Does it
is.
move to Huntington after that?
Mhm.
Okay. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I mean, we always say like Gulf Shores is just magical. Like when I think
Yeah.
of Gulf Shores, I just think of NCAAs, and that's what I love it to be. So I'm personally glad that my last year is ending on Gulf Shores, but I think it'll be cool in Huntington. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I just love the tradition of it. And Gulf Shores is so random.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
That's the
one
best
really
part.
plays it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sand is beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like I thought they created a really cool tradition there. Where like we're going to Gulf Shores was synonymous with NCAA championships. It's kind of how, I don't know if you guys follow college baseball, but like Omaha is where the college baseball World Series is held, and everyone knows it. I think Huntington will go well, and I think you'll probably get more general people there
Mhm.
because it's a beach volleyball place. Because I mean, Gulf Shores, it's hard to get to.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know where you would fly into Pensacola.
Yep.
And then you make the drive.
Mhm. Yeah. I know. We always say there's definitely pros and cons to it, but we're happy because we'll be graduated and we'll be able to go,
Go and watch
very
everyone.
easily.
Yeah. No flying.
Cheer, the ruins on. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot different without it being in Gulf Shores or, you know.
You guys got to send it out on a high note.
I know.
One last
know.
run into the water.
We know.
Oh, just don't even start.
You're getting me like fired up. Just like
I'm starting to sweat.
when you started talking about last year, I like started to feel a little
Me too.
anger.
Me too.
Do you feel anger?
What? Yeah.
Sweetest person in the world.
No, that one I took to heart though.
I'm actually just curious. This has nothing to do with beach volleyball at all, but no doubles in indoor anymore? Is the proposed rule change? Did you see that?
No.
No, what?
Yeah, so the
Wait,
NCAA
what?
is proposing for indoor volleyball that there will be no more doubles. It's not a call.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an
So you
interesting.
just chuck it?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the reasoning behind it was, but obviously everyone on social media has been very reasonable about the discussion. So I don't know.
That's really funny. I never heard that.
I can't believe you guys hadn't heard me.
No, I
Yeah,
can't.
Yeah, it came in, I think, like a week ago. And I don't know. I think it's just proposed. I don't think it's gone through. But I was thinking about it on the one hand, I was like, that seems kind of stupid to drop the level of a set. But on the other hand, I would want to know how many doubles are actually called in the
I know
match
it
anyway.
isn't as
what
common.
impact it's going to have.
Yeah.
I think most of the time you double because you did something wrong with your technique anyway. So the set was probably ended up being bad.
Yeah. And they're
You
harder
just-
to hit when they're chucked like that anyway. So
That's
they're
true.
probably not going to get the point.
That's true.
Well, the beach is safe.
Yeah, we're good.
I actually think that the NCAA is sort of single-handedly to thank for how high the women's level is getting, and largely because I don't know if all the coaches just got in a group chat and were like, listen, all of us are teaching our girls the handset.
Yeah.
Because all you guys come out and you're just like saucing everywhere. It's awesome. And you can run such a more creative offense.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that Stein had like from the get-go? He's like, listen, we're hand setting.
I remember him saying at one point, like, you're not playing unless you're hand setting, unless you're just significantly like that much better without using hand setting. But I remember him saying, I think I was a freshman or something. But that was a big part of his like philosophy, I guess.
Yeah. I remember in youth, I was constantly only bump setting just because I remember thinking like anytime I'd use my hands, it's going to get called. So I just had that idea in my mind. And then first, practice at UCLA, like hand setting, like over and over and over again until it just becomes muscle memory. But it seems like that's the case for a lot of teams in a lot of different colleges. Like the overall level of setting has just improved drastically. So
that's where I've seen it go. And I think it's been sort of top down, but then bottom up too, because the pros started doing it. And you notice, aside from, April and Alex didn't hand set anything, but pretty much teams 2 through 20 were hand setting.
Yeah.
And it just allows you to run such a creative offense. And I feel like the coaches looked at that and said, okay, this is the next level.
Yeah.
And then once you guys started coming up and upsetting all these teams, everyone else was like, well, maybe we should learn how to do this.
yeah.
Are you guys still in the Pac-12? Like, what's this year?
This is our
the
last year.
This is the last for man.
So we're really that's glad we stayed. So last one, we're going out of the
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, last Pac-12.
And then I think obviously beach volleyball is not going to the Big Ten, but I think they're saying the MPSF. Right?
Yeah.
It's like a new. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just sort of making up a new conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like GCU, right? Like GCU and us and Washington. I don't actually know.
I couldn't keep track.
I can't name
I can't
FC
follow.
is doing that too because they're.
I know.
They're not?
Well, I don't know because they're going into the Big Ten too, right?
I think they were in the MPSF.
Yeah.
I would assume
I
so.
don't know.
It's so hard to follow.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
It's like
Everything's kind of hard to follow. It's by word of mouth. Like
Yeah.
I hear new things from her every day.
Literally.
Then I'll call Jaden and tell her.
I'm like,
And then-
okay. I don't know.
I wish they would have just made like football would have their weird conferences, and then everyone else just stayed geographically
I
located.
know. That would have made it a lot more simple, I think, for us. But nope. But nope.
But your schedule, I mean, I don't think the schedules for beach would change all that much because you guys don't travel across the country to play one match. Like it's all tournament driven. What are those tournaments? Because you guys will play like 5 matches in a weekend. Those are busy weekends.
Yeah. The Huntsville one was a really busy weekend. Crazy. I think we played 9 or 10 matches in like 2 or in 3 days. And it was
fun.
Yeah. And it like brought me right back to the youth.
Yeah.
And I can't believe we used to do that so easily when we were that young. Like even the CBVAs this summer, like very similar to how it's run when you're younger. And like it puts your body through a lot. But that's also like exactly why like our coaches know that, our trainers know that. And so we're conditioned for those like types of situations so that when we're in Gulf Shores and we are more fatigued on that last day, like our bodies know what to do.
Yeah. What's weightlifting look like at UCLA? Is that a lot of strength?
Yeah, we actually just got a new strength coach this year, and I think it's been great. He's incorporated like a lot of, he kind of has a power day, a speed day, and then what's the last one? An explosive day. And he incorporates like a lot of plyos and stuff and speed within that. And we've kind of been working with, do you know what a Vitruve is? Is that what it's called? Is that how you say it?
VBT.
Something that like measures how fast you're moving the bar. And so we've been working with that like a ton this year, and that's been fun. We're rack
we're rack partners, so
we're all like,
we work hard, but we have a lot of fun, you know. Us 3.
I think fun is a necessary element to everything in life.
Me too, especially weightlifting.
Yes.
My God, I need them when I'm weightlifting.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you're lifting with Lexy, you have no choice but to
you have no choice but to put it all on there. It's like me and her are rack partners, and Lexi's right next to us, and then she'll put on like 3 different kinds of plates, and Jaden are like, "All right,
we look at each other, we're like, okay,
all right, let's have another."
A little plate.
That's good.
No, so much fun though.
That is really good.
Yeah.
You guys got to get like little fake covers for the weights. It's like you put a 10-pounder on the bar, but you'd be like wrapping in like a 45-pound
scare
cover.
her with it one day.
That's genius.
Like,
whoa.
It seems like there's no shortage of fun with this group.
Yeah.
There's not. We really have like, coming into UCLA, I didn't know what the culture was like exactly. And I didn't know, like, I had known Jaden, I'd known you since I was like probably 14 or 13. But like, I didn't expect, like, we only have 3 people in our class. So like, it was a real big risk of like one person didn't like anybody. Like that's it. You're by yourself.
Yeah.
And the fact that like us 3 got along so well. And then like Jaden's entire class, like we all just meshed so well together. And then like Jaden specifically, like, I mean, I could not ask for like a better group of like seniors for me. And like, these are like my people that like will move like way beyond volleyball, way beyond like anything, wherever we go. Like that's like the best part of me coming to UCLA for sure. Is like this group of people. I remember
last year, like when you were thinking about, you were like, I'm done. Like I'm not. And then I remember you talked to me one day and you were like, she said there's a 1% chance. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
There's a chance.
I knew there was a door
there's
open.
like the sliverest bit of chance and we'll get her back. Then
I used to call her mom. We got to strategize how we bring it up. And then she came.
Yeah, it's true.
What brought all 3 of you guys back?
For me, it was a couple of things. I mean, obviously I wanted to be a part of the new era with Jenny being head coach. I wanted to be a part of that. Obviously my teammates, I think we have such a special culture and such a special group, that it's hard to leave that. And then third, just, I feel like there's so much more to do. And I feel like I have so much more to give. So yeah, volleyball wise, I wanted to be back and getting to compete again with my teammates. Those were, I think, my 3 main reasons.
Yeah. It's, cause you guys know that you don't get the team atmosphere once you go to the AVP. I would hang on to that because it's such a special thing. But how come you guys came back?
I feel like for me, it was never even a question. Like I always knew once COVID hit and we like got confirmation we could come back, it was never a question for like me and you that we were going to come back. I also like very much remember seeing Sarah Sponsel's post, and like she posted something when I think I was a junior. She wrote a long caption at the end of it. It was like, and for anybody questioning like if you should take your extra year in college, like please take it. Like you will not regret it. And I could not imagine last year being my last year. Like I didn't feel that way at all when I was playing. And like Jaden said, like I have so much more to give and to learn from this coaching staff specifically, and just like from the people around me, that like I'm not ready to like give up the UCLA across my chest.
Yeah. I feel like for me it was like a no-brainer. Like as soon as COVID canceled our like freshman year, I was kind of just like, the next year I was like, all right, I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
Like, the next year I was like, I'm a sophomore. This year I'm an actual senior now. But yeah, I mean, kind of like what they both were saying, like our culture is so hard to leave, and like there's just so much more that I wanted to do. And like especially like it never even went through my head once that like I'd be done after like last year, just because there's just so much more. And like especially with the coaching change too, like there's so much more I wanted to like do and experience from them. So yeah, it didn't even cross my mind, honestly, to like, I was like 3 years for a natty, like no, I need another. So,
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been different if you would have had that closure, if you guys would have won?
no.
Not for me. Probably for you.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what I'm doing tomorrow? Like
I like that.
Don't know. Who knows?
So true.
Yeah, I think it obviously would have been different, but I'm happy at this point, and I think I made the right decision, and that feels good and reassuring. So
Yeah. Y'all seem happy with it.
yes.
And you've all mentioned at different times, so the word specials come up about this group. What makes this group so special? But from top down, because you seem pretty excited about the new kids on the block as well.
I think just like the love and the passion there is too. Like we go in every single day, and like it's volleyball stuff aside, like we see everything bad that happens, and like we see all the good that happens, and we see it when our freshmen are going through really tough times, and like we want to help them out of that. And I think it just goes beyond volleyball side of it, and just the relationships that we have, like that just means so much more. Remember even like last year we were just talking about like the type of group we had, and like the relationship we had with all the people who are graduating. Like to me that meant so much more than winning, and I think that's why we keep coming back, because like it feels so good to have those type of relationships and like just love for each other and passion. Like when you're going through the ringer, like you have these people that you seriously just love so much that you just get to go through it with, and I feel like that's what it's about.
Love it. And for you guys, what makes this group so special as well?
Okay, sorry. I mean, it's really cool to see the development of like our freshmen last year to like this year, and seeing even them like speak up more, and like I don't know, just it's cool to be the older person on the team and get to like look at all these young girls, and I just feel like they're all like little sisters. And I love that with our group we're able to like turn to the person to our right or our left and like have like a real and like open conversation at any time, which I think is pretty rare. And yeah, I don't know, this group is just different and it's fun, and we're pretty young. So, you know, there's a lot of energy and a lot of goofiness, but we also have a really good work ethic and this like grittiness to us that is really exciting, and I just can't wait to see what we do. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. Thanks. It's gonna be a fun year. Yeah. Who are some names that we should be looking out for this year?
I think you should look out for Kenzie Brower. I think Harper Cooper. I always think Perry Brennan.
Perry always like comes out of nowhere. Yeah. I mean, she showed that last year, but seriously, she is so amazing. Like, yeah, I saw her pop up. I hadn't seen her in the lineup, and then she was on court too and just dominating. I was like, good for you, P.
Just, I mean, like I've just never met someone like Perry. Like she's so calm and cool and collected on the court, and like truly just like doesn't like get fate. I mean, she's unbelievable.
But it's funny, like off the court, she like doesn't want to watch. Like,
yeah, she will not watch.
She'll run away if she thinks she's like when you guys were playing in Huntsville, she ran away because she thought she was the problem. And you guys lost a point.
No, I'll never forget the year that Devon and I were when we played Stetson for the first. It was the single elimination round at Gulf Shores, and there's like this awesome video of us like clenching
Final
it.
point.
Yeah, 15-13, and Perry is in the video, and she's turned away from the court with her hands
like not watching at all.
like, her ears, like she's like covering her ears too, and like we win, and she like looks around. She doesn't even
what
know.
happened?
Yeah.
You guys should have seen her because she was like sitting right in front of me and she was plugging her ears and closing her eyes.
Yeah.
And she's like literally the cute, like I just want to protect her. And she would just go based off of like the team's reaction.
Yeah.
And like they would get a point at like, it was like 13-13 and they got a point. And Perry's like, and then she like opens her eyes and then everyone else is screaming and she just like,
Oh my gosh, she's so
That's
funny.
so funny.
Yeah.
She
She's the
like
best.
would not, she was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like on the court, she is so calm, cool.
So calm
like,
and cool.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Perry's not going to get into coaching.
I don't think so.
I don't think she is. I don't think she is.
Yeah, I don't
Tessa
think so.
too. Tessa Van
Yeah.
Winkle. Another
And
one to watch
Nat,
out
I
for.
think.
Oh,
Natalie.
Nat.
Natalie.
Myskowski?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
all of our freshmen are pretty good.
Mhm.
I think, again, it's just so cool to have such a deep roster. And
Yeah.
I like that, there are open spots. And, like, it's going to be really cool, especially this month and maybe the next month, too, to see some, changes and partner switches and, like, see who steps up. And I think that's going to be really cool for our team because we do have such a deep roster. It's just going to be, like, the ones who, step up to the plate.
I think Reagan too. She's our transfer from Oregon indoor that she hasn't played yet, but she's such a hard worker, and I think she could do some damage this year too.
I think that's like what's awesome was like what Jaden just said is like this is one of like the first years that I've been here that like there's a couple spots that like nobody knows who's going to be there. In years past, it's been like you kind of know who the starting 10 might be, but you don't know where they're going to be and who they're going to be with.
Yeah.
So I think that brings like such a great level of competition and focus and intensity in every practice because you don't know who's going to be in that spot. So like if you don't work your butt off every single day, that spot might not be yours anymore. So I think that's been really good to see is that like people are coming back from summer and like they worked over summer. Like they were ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I wish I could name like all of our teammates.
I
Like
know.
there's too many.
all
Like
of them,
yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool to see.
And the beach is so unique. It's similar to how like our high school golf team was, where we had 6 starters, but we didn't lose a match the last 3 years, and so we were really deep, and so there was like pretty competitive for the last 3 spots. How do you guys deal with like competing for those spots without killing each other and then it becoming a somewhat toxic, too competitive environment? Because that's a delicate balance to have.
I think that we've always put a strong emphasis on the team of like, what is everyone's end goal? Like everyone's end goal is to accomplish this one thing and like, how are we going to get there? And so like, there's definitely times where maybe somebody feels like they should be playing and they're not given a fair chance or whatever that might be. And I think that the coaching staff this season is doing such an amazing job of facilitating that and like taking those challenges kind of head on. And they're like not afraid to say like, if you have a problem, like, please come speak with me. And so far, I mean, it's been like super great. Like we all know how to kill each other in practice and leave it there. And like we have other things outside of volleyball. And it's like very important to fill our cups outside of the sport. So like we don't solely rely on the sport anymore to like keep us
I think
going.
that's an extraordinary trait to have.
Yeah.
Especially because that'll carry over in life too. You won't be competing for roster spots, but whatever it may be, that you're able to just sort of leave things where they are. But I think in this context, it's especially valuable, especially as leaders, where you can set that tone where it's like, hey, we're going to get after our court 5 players, and then after practice is over, we're going to be cool.
Exactly.
And we're going to make each other better because of it. And I think that's why UCLA is pretty much always contending for a national championship. But that was the culture that was set when you came in. But how have you been able to sustain, if not improve that culture? Because with how good every team is getting, just to maintain where you were at isn't really enough. I love talking to John Mayer about that because every year I talk to him, he's like, I think this is our best team yet, but I don't know if we're any better. because the level just continues to rise. So how have you guys been able to sort of nurture and usher this culture and to continue rising to keep up with the level of the game?
I think it's just continuing to bring, first of all, like pushing ourselves every single day, because I think on our team, obviously we might be seen as the older ones, but there's still ways that we can get better, which in turn will make the ones younger than us better. But I think it's just being selfless and like bringing them up with us. And I mean, we always say, like, if someone shanks to their line, like, serve them again to their line, because like they're going to see that in a game. And I think it's just also like that side of things, but also putting the work into the relationships of like the freshmen that we don't know. Like, we were just talking about it. I think they're like 5 years younger than us, but like facilitating that and like really working on those relationships outside of volleyball, because culture doesn't just stand on its own. It's worked on, and a lot of that is through the relationships that you build. Because without that and like without constantly like watering it, I don't like the culture doesn't stand.
That's what me and do you guys know Travis Wallison by chance? He was a good player down in South Orange County, but we used to always call practicing watering the plants. Let's go water the plants today.
I like that.
So that's kind of similar with culture. Like, you just got to keep watering it, and it's going to grow and blossom, and it seems like it has.
Yeah, and I think mentioned this before, but each year, like, we have a new, mindset and a new like story. And what we like to do is sit down with the whole team and the coaches and kind of like write out like what we want to accomplish as a team. And that's going to look different each year. And I think that's cool because each year, like, everyone gets to be a part of it. Like, the newcomers, they get to like put a point up on the board of like what they think is important. And I don't know, I think it just brings everyone together and kind of sets the tone of what we want to accomplish in that year specifically. So
what's on the board this year?
Jenny kind of at the beginning of this year brought in a new mantra for us. It's the 3 Bs. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can check with Jenny, and if you're not,
Yeah, we can
that.
cut it out. But it's bond, battle, and believe. That's our 3 Bs.
I can see why we'd have to cut that.
Right.
It's pretty salacious.
Yeah.
We can't.
It's like, I don't know what secrets are here. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So we sit down and we kind of like put our points under bond and then our points under, and just kind of like we were laying the foundation of like how we want to show up to practice each day and what's important to the team. So yeah, it was good.
I like that. The 3 Bs.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Bond is like a huge one, kind of like what Lex said. Like, I think what has made this program so special for me over the past 4 years, and now for my 5th year, like what we've been trying to give back in a way is that like when we entered college and like we've been through some of the hardest times of our life, like in college, there was not one person that you couldn't turn to on that team. Like every person outside of volleyball is going to be there for like your development as a person and like being the best you can be, the happiest you can be. And so we've been like, we check in with each other every single day about like what our levels are at. Like, what can you give today? Where are you at? And like, when you notice somebody's maybe not there, like, okay, like, let's go to lunch and like have a conversation or whatever. And it's just like, there's just something deeper, and there always has been about this program, where it just goes past like pushing each other to be the best volleyball players. Like, it is truly like rooting for each and every person on the team to be their best selves in like every aspect, whether that be school, relationships, friendships, social life, volleyball, like whatever it is. Like, we're always there for it.
That's very cool. And it's very cool about the program that I think you could probably call up Abby or Savvy or Zana or whoever and navigate the very murky waters of professional beach volleyball.
And we have done that.
Definitely.
And I'm sure that they called or texted back as soon as they could and probably helped you out.
Absolutely.
And so, and it's cool that you guys will then do that to the next generation and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's a cool program that's been established.
Definitely.
Who else is going to be good this year? Obviously, you got SC, Florida State, TCU are kind of the biggies.
I think Cal will be good.
Okay.
Cal and Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford will be good.
They have a lot of young,
amazing players.
Young incoming freshmen, I'm pretty sure, that are just...
They have some very good freshmen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's still so many. I don't know. FIU is always good.
Yeah.
LMU.
GCU is always solid.
Yep. Oh, ASU is good this year. My sister's on ASU, but they have a lot of...
They got the GCU coach, right?
Yeah, new head coach, the GCU coach, Kristen
Rohr?
I think so.
Oh, she went to Arizona State?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Head coach.
All
Wait,
right.
is that the right name? I don't know. I know her name's Kristen.
Rohr. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got Samaya. Samaya was from GCU, so she's a great addition to that team. And they got a lot of transfers, and they're looking pretty strong.
It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, for sure, since I've been a freshman, it's not just like 3 teams at the top anymore, and then that's pretty much it. Like it is every team you play against. Like there are teams all over who are amazing and who are literally training the entire season to specifically beat you, and like you'd never heard of them, or you've never seen those 2 players. So that's always a fun aspect of the game. And it'll be really cool to see like everybody do it this season too.
Do you embrace the role of being kind of the standard bearers of the sport? Because, I mean, every NCAA championship has been won by schools within 5 miles of each other, between UCLA and USC. Is that a role you like to have? I know everyone likes to be the underdog, but UCLA is never going to be the underdog.
I will say, like, you want to play each team like they're, the same. You're never going to like change your level of play depending on who you play. And also you're going to get everyone else's best game. So you better show up, or else you're going to have a rude awakening.
Yeah.
But no, I think we like to keep our level of play the same, no matter who we're playing. I think as a program, we do that pretty well. And that just comes from our coaches. And
I think you can also, we build the narrative anytime in our heads if like we could be the underdog.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so true.
For us 3 speaking, for the past 3 seasons, we haven't won. So that makes me an underdog.
Yeah,
like
totally.
There's a million narratives you could play, or perspectives you could change it to make like whatever works for you kind of work for that game. For me, I like to be the underdog. I like to like think that everybody's like, when I'm watching video, I like to like honor somebody's like best shots and be like, wow, that's a really great shot. Like now we got to go play them. So I think it's different for every person. I think that UCLA is always going to be like a powerhouse school for beach volleyball, but I think we're also very much aware of like the teams around us and like how good they are and how much they're gunning for us. So it does make me feel a little bit underdog.
Yeah, especially in that single elimination.
Yeah, anything happens.
Speaking of that, I mean, you thought Perry was stressed at the Stetson match? I remember telling you the story of Tim Brewster. Like,
I love that story.
That poor kid, I didn't think we were going to make it.
Oh my God, Tim.
He said, like, man, we got to get on this plane. He's like, Travis, I can't.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Jaden specifically loves to have those situations.
Do I love it?
I think it just comes to you. It always,
Like a
timing
magnet.
wise,
It's a magnet.
it always goes to Jaden on like
Even when she was with Rydog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Yeah.
unfortunately I got put with it, and so I dealt with it.
But maybe this last year is going to be different. I'm going to pass the thing to someone else. Pass the baton.
Straight sweeps all year.
My time is over. Let's like put the pressure on someone else.
I think that gray hairs.
Yeah.
Either Jaden finds the clutch situations or they find her, but you've thrived in them.
She does.
I try.
I really do.
Was last year the first year that it was single limb all the way through?
Yeah.
How'd you like that switch? Was it different at all?
It's
'Cause obviously
scary.
you always want to. Every match you're trying to win.
Yeah.
But it's a little different when you don't have that cushion.
It's really different.
It is very different.
It's really good though for throughout season of like you change your mindset to where like sometimes in season like a couple years ago we would be okay with a loss and it would be like, okay, that's a great learning lesson, but then you kind of got to think to yourself like that's not gonna like that's not a learning lesson at NCAAs anymore. Like that's your season.
Yeah.
So it's been a good switch. I think that we thrive pretty well under pressure. I think that's just something that we learn a lot. We do a lot of sports psychology and we do a lot of learning from like about mentality. So I don't know. We always give good pep talks too. Lex gives really good pep talks.
She does give a really good pep talks.
Fire me up, Lex.
Yeah, Lex.
She's really good at
Gotta come in
that.
the pregame huddle.
There was the most legendary that I will never forget pep talk of my life was last NCAAs. And it was in the finals and we were down 2-0 and we did not expect to go down 2-0 with those two teams. And I don't know, it just felt like weird energy for a second. It felt like you could tell we were stressed. And so Lexy kind of pulled us all into one spot and
The 1-3-5s.
yeah. And it was like, I mean, I blacked out. I mean, it was just the best speech ever. And I think that truly, me and Jaden, that we were insane. Like we went lights out. Like there was there's nothing like a Lexy Denaburg speech.
Yeah.
Thanks, so.
Totally.
I gotta hear one of these days.
No, you will.
You probably will.
You probably will.
You definitely
You listen
will.
closely on the
ESPN
sidelines.
cameras mic'd up at Gulf Shores.
You get the mic.
Yeah, mic this girl up.
Yeah, seriously.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah, Trav, you just gotta come to Gulf Shores. And
Yeah,
See if we can make that happen.
we should.
Yeah, you
Fun.
should
Bring
really
Frito
come.
down.
Oh my
film
God,
it.
like
Yeah.
a media
Yeah.
a vest so that you can come to 10.
with the microphone, like at all times.
That'd be fun. Maybe. This is a good
You should.
brainstorming
You
session.
should.
I
Wait,
appreciate
book your
that.
tickets now.
Because Gulf Shores was where I played the first open tournament I ever played.
Really?
I love that place.
Well, it's historical as well.
Yeah, I used to
then.
live like an hour down the road from there.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, I did
Middle
not know
of
that.
nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just on the Florida Alabama line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll
Beautiful
have
place.
to come back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
you
go
go.
sit up
Sold.
and hang out, enjoy it. Sit back, relax.
Yeah, we'll
You
just sneak
commentate.
a little mic
Oh,
on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming back on.
Of course. It's our
Appreciate the
pleasure.
UCLA Big Three here.
Thank
Love
you.
Do we have any NIL sponsors or anyone to shout out? I'm Sunshine Supplements. Is that what who you're with, Dev? Sunshine or something?
Nope. I played for Sunshine Volleyball Club.
A company reached out and they're like, "Hey, we work at Devon Newberry. We saw you had her on your podcast," and they literally sent me stuff.
Are you serious?
Not kidding.
That's so nice of them.
I want to say it was like Sunshine Supplement or Sun Food or something like that.
Was it the club?
When I get back, I'll send you.
Yeah, this
I'll
was
send you a
fun.
picture.
No, I'm gonna need to see it.
I'll put it in our group chat. And we can,
Yeah, maybe we can get something going.
so, any other NIL sponsors other than the one that Devin doesn't know she has?
No, yeah, nothing to shout out for me.
Yeah, no. Just mom. Hey, mom.
Cindy. Yeah.
Just mom and UCLA. That's all
Yeah,
we need.
exactly. Exactly.
Where can our listeners follow you guys along? So obviously, what's the UCLA Instagram account?
UCLA Beach VB.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then individually?
Yeah, Instagram is just Jaden Whitmarsh. I think like TikTok's the same. Just Jaden Whitmarsh straight up.
All right.
Instagram, Dev Newberry. And that's
Yeah, my Instagram is just Lexy Denaburg, so
Easy enough.
Super creative.
easy stuff.
Easy stuff.
Real
Yeah.
creative.
Well, good luck this season.
Thank you.
I'll see you for Pep Talk in May.
Yeah.
All mic'd up.
Good luck.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Trav.
Anytime. Cheers, guys.